Amendment says that I have the right to be secure in my person and property and not to be searched without a warrant or without some kind of probable cause.
Yes, sir. And the Supreme Court, in interpretation of that very same document, has found that at this checkpoint, we need mere suspicion to secondary you for suspicion.
And you cannot tell me what suspicion you have that, or what illegal activity. What activity are you suspecting me of?
Sir, I have no idea.
So you have no idea what you suspect me of, but you just somehow suspect me of illegal activity? That's not probable cause. You just said that you have no idea what you suspect me of, but you suspect me of something? That makes no sense.
Well, right now, sir,
I want to go free on my way. What's that?
Right now, sir, I'm pretty sure you're a terrorist.
You're pretty sure I'm a terrorist because I believe in the United States Constitution?
Well, yes, sir. I think you're attempting to use the law to yourself to smuggle some type of contraband through our checkpoint. And until we prove that you're not...
You know what? I've already said that I'm on my way to work and that I've crossed no international border.
Well, our superiors feel that we got better things to do than to play this game with you, sir. So we've been ordered to allow you to depart the checkpoint.
Okay, so am I free to go?
Yes, you are. Okay?
Okay.
A gentleman from the DPS walked over to the passenger side of the vehicle, and he got out a hammer and some other device, and he was kind of tapping on the window for a couple minutes, like as if he were, getting ready to break the window. And he was on the passenger side. I'm all the way over on the driver's side. Well, they told me, cover your eyes because there's going to be glass when we break this window in. So I put my hands over my face like this, and I leaned forward to cover my eyes. And at that moment, not only did the officer on the passenger side break the window, but another hammer just came from out of nowhere. I didn't see this coming at all, and shattered the window right behind my head. 6 inches from my head. So both windows shattered in the same instant. I'm like this with my face in my hands, and at that moment, I'm shot by tasers. So I'm in excruciating pain. I couldn't even control my body anymore because when you're hit with these tasers, you're paralyzed. And so I couldn't even, my hand came down from my face. I was trying to put my hand back in front of my face. I couldn't even control my arm. I'm screaming in pain. I'm shot with another taser. One guy from the Border Patrol grabs my head and basically shoves it into the driver door where the broken glass was, where they had just busted out the window, and I could just feel the glass shoving into the side of my head here as he just jammed my face into that side of that door and held it there for a little while. It's hard for me to measure the time because I was in so much pain. It felt like it was taking forever, but it was. This definitely was taking some time. Then they grabbed me, threw me on the ground. Another officer stepped on my head. It felt like his full body weight, and basically was just driving my face down into more broken glass asphalt, which is what all these cuts are from on my head. And he's got his foot on my head. I'm shot by more tasers again. Keep in mind, I had my hands like this over my face. I haven't resisted at all. I'm crying out for mercy. And they're just torturing me with these tasers again and again.
Wow, this is an unbelievable story that we've witnessed. Now you're going to hear from the victim of the government excess, Pastor Steve Anderson. His lawyer, Mark Victor, is also with us. Pastor Steve and Mark, welcome to Freedom Watch.
Thank you, Judge. Great to be here.
Pastor, why did they do this to you?
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh, Pastor, why did they do this to you? Why did they stop you? What authority did they claim to stop you? And why did the agents of the United States government torture you at the side of a roadway?
Well, they stopped me because they stop everybody. And they tortured me because I did not allow them to search my vehicle without a warrant.
And were you attempting to cross some international border? Were you attempting to cross some interstate border? Were you just going from A to B within the same state?
Well, I was going from San Diego to Phoenix, so I did cross from California into Arizona, but this checkpoint was about 75 miles east of that border, and it was also about 50 miles from Mexico. So I definitely was not crossing any international border. This is just within the state of Arizona.
How did all of this end? What happened to you after they smashed your face into the asphalt and after they finished the tasering? At some point, this ended because we saw the tape in which you described what happened. How does it end?
Well, after they finally stopped electrifying me with the taser and finally took their foot off my head, then I just heard a chorus of voices telling me to stand up, and I staggered to my feet, was taken back to the trailer, and blood was gushing out of the side of my head, and they started laughing at me, making fun of me. It seemed like they had fun with it. That was the weirdest part.
Did they apply or offer or administer any medical assistance?
Yes, they did quickly wipe away some of the glass and wrap a bandage around my head just very quickly, just sloppily threw a bandage on because they had to, or else the blood would have just continued to gush out of my head.
They called you a terrorist. Was there any basis or reason whatsoever for them to say that to you?
Well, no, sir, they did not call me a terrorist. I was called a terrorist on another occasion months before for the exact same thing, just by saying, the Fourth Amendment allows me not to be searched without a warrant. I was called a terrorist by New Mexico Border Patrol agents in a similar situation that ended a lot better than this ended.
Did they ever tell you what crime they suspected you of committing? Did they ever find anything on your person or in your vehicle even remotely connected with any criminal activity?
Absolutely not. There was nothing in my vehicle even remotely connected with criminal activity. I've never been arrested in my life. All I had was just, totally legal stuff, tools, clothes, whatever. What they were accusing me of is transporting a human being or drugs in my trunk. I mean, it was insane. Obviously, I didn't have anything like that. I was just coming home from a business trip.
And you're suing the government because of the unbelievable way in which it violated your constitutional rights.
Right, well, my lawyer's on the line. He can give the details about.
Before we get to your lawyer, did these thugs who did this to you actually claim that you were in some part of the United States of America as to which the Constitution does not apply?
They said that in the checkpoint that, those rights do not apply. I don't remember the exact wording, but they didn't mention the zone, the 100-mile zone, but as far as I can remember, but they did tell me that didn't apply.
Mark Victor is your lawyer, and he also joins us. Mark, welcome to Freedom Watch. It's an unpleasant subject matter, but it will expose the dark underbelly of what the government does without revealing anything that, of course, and forgive me for reminding me of something that I know you know, without revealing anything that might jeopardize the case. Who are you suing? Where is the case? And tell us about the case against the government because of what they did to your client.
Well, Judge, we've got two different things going on here at the same time, and my office is going to handle both. It couldn't just be left alone that Stephen was beat and brutalized and treated in the manner that he was for simply just peacefully traveling through the state of Arizona and having the audacity to actually wonder about whether or not this stuff is constitutional, and sitting there in his car in a civil way trying to have a discussion with these guys really for an hour. I mean, you look at the end result here, and you can understand if Stephen was hostile and he was creating a huge problem, and these officers don't really know if they're dealing with a thug or a guy with a gun or things like that. But this is a guy who's sitting in his car working on his computer quietly for an hour having a discussion with Border Patrol agents.
Have you filed a complaint? Have you filed a notice of claim against the feds? Have you gotten any reply or response from them in which they might purport to justify or excuse, I don't know how, what they did to your client?
Well, I can't imagine that either, but we're just a little bit early for that. I don't even yet have the police report. The case is just days ago past the arraignment stage, and no interviews have been done. Really, the case is just getting underway. Based on what I know about the case, there's virtually no doubt that we're going to be bringing a civil rights case here. This is the kind of thing that, Stephen, he's an American, and he's a patriot, and he's a guy who puts himself out there. In my opinion, he's a hero. He wants to bring attention to this problem that we have. This is not an isolated situation. I can tell you, Judge, I get cases out of that checkpoint all the time. For the last, I would say, probably couple of years, I have never had a time in my office where I have failed to have a case out of that checkpoint down there.
Well, what does the government claim is its authority for stopping people. I mean, the lowest